AITA for taking my oldest child to my sister's child-free wedding?
I'm still shocked this whole thing happened, but I want to hear some outside perspectives. So here I am. I have 4 kids, 11, 14, 16 and 19. A while ago, we all received an invitation for my sister's wedding. That's me, my husband, and all 4 of my kids. Her wedding was in a different country, but it was at a good time so we could all go. We booked everything and were all ready to go. We got there a bit of time before the wedding. Quite literally a few days before the wedding, I was informed it was going to be a child-free wedding. Look, I have no issue with child-free weddings. But, I was a bit frustrated. I mean, if I had known it was going to be child-free, then arrangements could have been made so that we all didn't have to travel. We were all invited, so I was just annoyed that things were switched up. But, I can also understand that weddings can be stressful and sometimes things are going to change. I spent quite a bit of time trying to find a place for my 3 youngest to stay during the wedding, but I sorted it all out eventually. Okay, it was wedding day, no more changes had been made, everything was good. We were on our way when I got a message that my sister was excited to see you too. I was a bit confused, because, of course, 3 of us were going. I just decided it was probably an error and didn't worry. We got there, and my sister seemed very surprised to see my oldest. And not a nice surprise either, a pretty condescending surprise. But, again, it's her wedding day, she's probably nervous, I'll let it go. During the wedding, I couldn't help but feel she was ignoring us. I don't know, if none of this ever happened I wouldn't even care because, again, it's her wedding and she doesn't have to pay equal attention to everyone. But with everything else, it just felt weird.
After the wedding, she sent me a message that it was nice to see me there. But she would have appreciated if I had respected the child-free part. I replied saying I was so happy for her and enjoyed every second of the wedding. And I thought I had respected it, but if there was a miscommunication I was very sorry. She told me that there was no miscommunication. That I had disrespected her and I should apologize. I basically reiterated what I had already said. And didn't apologize. AITA? Edit. For those wondering about the invitation, RSVP. The invitation said, less than bride and groom name would like to invite less than all 6 of our names and we were all asked to RSVP by email. Which I did. I had also seen my sister between this and the wedding and it was clear she knew we were all planning to attend.
And yes, this is about my 19-year-old. I use the definition of child as son or daughter, not as under 18. Sorry for the confusion.
The invitation said, less than bride and groom name would like to invite less than all 6 of our names and we were all asked to RSVP by email. Essentially 4 people were invited to attend a wedding in another country and then when they arrived, were told they were uninvited. Kinda ballsy and unrealistic if you ask me. You are NTA. Your sister however, entitled asshole. NTA. So the wedding wasn't initially child-free. And they just decided that it was a couple of days before the wedding after you'd traveled with all of your kids when she'd initially invited everyone? That's messed up. Your sister needed to communicate that it was child-free well in advance if that's what she wanted. That's not the kind of thing you spring on your guests last minute. Also, a 19-year-old isn't a child. So you didn't take a child to a child-free wedding. Honestly, I don't know what your sister was thinking. This whole affair sounds like a mess.
You took the 19-yo? That's not a child. And if she really wanted it to be child-free, why didn't she tell you before you flew your entire family? NTA.
By your sister's logic, nobody should attend at all, because everybody is somebody's child. NTA. I probably wouldn't have even considered the 16-yo to be a child. But I'm German, and in Germany you can drink alcohol at 16 and vote in certain elections if that matters. They are not exactly adults, but I also wouldn't consider that a child. The 14-year would have been sort of clear. I would have probably asked about that. But a 19-year, who is legally considered an adult? Although I don't know the exact etiquette of a child-free wedding. That's something I'm sure about. NTA op. That is just wild. I'm sorry. At 19, your oldest child is old enough to vote, get drafted, sign a legal contract, or be prosecuted as an adult. If I, as your 19-year-old, was originally invited and then was dismissed at the event as a child, after traveling to a different damned country for the damned wedding that I had RSVPs to, I would be upset. You and your adult offspring have nothing to apologize for. Send a bill for the travel expenses you incurred for your other children under the very real impression that you were all invited. Don't expect to be reimbursed. Of course. But do it anyway. Bridezilla nonsense here. You are NTA. NTA. Emo. Even your 16-year-old should have been included. And where is her apology for letting you fly children out there, complete with wedding-appropriate outfits, extra accommodation and babysitting needs? NTA. You did not take a child to a child-free wedding. NTA. A 19-year-old is not a child. NTA. She was incredibly rude all the way through. Having a child-free wedding is fine. Revoking invitations to people you've explicitly invited less than a week before the wedding is not. You were already patient and understanding of that. And then she has the gall to be mad you brought a literal adult? She is an awful host and a terribly inconsiderate person. NTA. Only apology needed is the one from her to you for incurring thousands of dollars of travel expenses you didn't need to spend. Hope your family made the most of the trip. Wait. They invited all of you and just told you before the wedding, when you already have been near the location, that your children are not allowed. I wouldn't even considered keeping the younger ones out of the wedding. Yeah, I know this would be an move. You're definitely NTA. NTA, you took an adult. She fucked up. I wouldn't have assumed a 19-year-old was a child, especially if she didn't properly address the invitation. NTA. Your 19 years old is obviously not a child anymore. I would really like to know why your sister thought that your 19-year-old falls under the child category. Are you close? Is she involved in your children's lives? Can it possibly be that she doesn't know your children's ages? NTA. A 19-year-old isn't a child, first of all. And secondly, an invitation addressed to the entire family denotes that they are all invited. If I booked to another country with 6 people and found out once I got there that 4 of them were no longer welcome, I would be livid. If the invitation was not clear on the child-free point, then NTA. Also, your oldest is not a child. What did the original invitation say? NTA. A 19-year-old is not a child. NTA. Bringing your adult daughter doesn't violate the idea of child-free. Everyone is someone's child until the day they die, so by that definition nobody would be allowed to come. Info. How did the invitation read? To whom was it addressed, and were RSVPs issued? How did you respond? Edit. Definitely NTA, and your sister was a massive jerk. If you don't intend to allow children, don't put them on the invite.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Haircast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.